One of the marks of our age is the presence of digital objects and digital tools. Like, for example, I went out to eat with my in-laws and my family last week. We went to a new Chinese restaurant, really quite good food. But in order to order, you had to use your phone to scan a QR code, which brought up the menu. And then you didn't even tell what you wanted to order to a waiter. You pushed it into this app, and they're logged in your order completely without any personal connection. Of course, I didn't grow up like that. I think a lot of us didn't grow up like that. At certain point, that stuff became more and more present. But I grew up with phones that had cords, and it was kind of new when we got our first cordless phone. That was fun. We had TV, which wasn't really digital, though it did have radio waves or whatever they use coming into it. Cable TV, not really digital. You kind of had to turn it on, turn it off. Most digital thing that we probably had was a CD player, and we had one of those in the car or in our room, or portable sort of CD thing. It was certainly an improvement on cassettes. That's about as digital as it got. Obviously now today it's very different, and I don't think that we need to go back to older technology, but I would like to write a book about what it means to be formed in a digitally saturated age, obviously formed in the image of Christ and Christian formation. I think it's a really important topic for today. Hey everybody, welcome to the Sanctus Forum. I am Michael Stewart Robb, better known as Mike. And I'm only taking on one big project at a time, so that book on digital formation is just going to have to wait. Maybe somebody else will write it. What I'm doing right now is I am editing a rather big documentary, big for me, about a retreat that I took with European ministers. And I was leading the retreat along with Vila Cavilo, my co-leader. And we took a camera and tried to film the experience to a degree, and now I've got all that footage and I'm trying to put it together with a story that would hopefully appeal to more than just the people who went on the retreat or the people that might go on a similar kind of retreat, but actually something that speaks to where we are now in human life. And if you'd like to hear more about that sort of thing, obviously subscribing to this channel, seeing future videos, as well as going back and looking at past videos, that's a great way to do it. Even better, go over to Sanctus Institute. These videos are put on by the Sanctus Institute, and sign up for our almost monthly newsletter. It's almost monthly because I'm the one who writes it, and I haven't written one for, well, it's been about a month. Sanctus Institute is where you get that. Now with this documentary, where I'm pretty far into it, I'm starting to do music, starting to put in those fake bird sounds that you don't even notice are fake. And I'm far enough along to know where the deleted scenes are going to be deleted. And some of them are actually really quite good, even though they don't fit into the story we're telling with this documentary. And so I wanted to show you one of those. I think I'm going to call them road trip monologues, because a lot of them were done on the road trip from Munich, where I live, down to Spain, where the retreat was held. And in the car, my co-leader Vila asks me, why do we need an analog retreat in a digital world? Now, the only thing you need to kind of know about that is that we had told all the participants that we weren't going to use our phones for the entire length of the retreat. So people would be pulled out of that digital world. And I hope that my answer to that question is helpful for you wherever you are today. So here it goes.
So why do we need an analog retreat
Oh, and by the way, I haven't really cleaned this up so that it looks perfect. So you'll just see how I answer the question like this in real time.
Well, I think one issue is that a lot of the tools that we use, we don't own outright. They're tools that other companies, other people are leasing to us, and to a degree, they're the ones that are operating them, whether they're an app or a website that we're using. It's like if you had, a tool like a hammer, old tool. A hammer doesn't say, "You haven't used me a while. Wouldn't you like to hammer something right now? Would you like to see what other people are hammering?" A hammer just sort of sits in the drawer until it's time to be used. And a lot of the digital tools that we have now aren't like that at all. We can't even employ them unless there are people on the other side, say a web developer or somebody who is setting up, whether it's algorithms or they're putting up new content regularly. Otherwise, these apps or websites wouldn't function. And so they're not entirely tools. They are, as I read once on a tweet, the tools are haunted. So I think that's where analog retreats can really come in handy, because they can help us to step back and be aware of what roles do these devices have in our lives, and to really put us in charge of them. I mean, to some degree, again, it's like you have a farmer, and the cows go where they want to go, and the pigs go where they want to go, and the chickens go where they want to go. And if they want to be in your bedroom, then they're in your bedroom, and they'll come in to the kitchen and they'll sit down in your front yard. And it's like, no, the farmer should say, okay, pigs here, you cows stay here, chickens, this is your house, and we need to find ways to organize our kingdom, our farm, in ways that suit us as the farmers, as the ones who are in charge.
Well, I hope that gives you some insight into how you might live in a digitally saturated world, a world where there are digital objects and tools that you can hardly get away from, whether you want to or not. It's a place where we need to be formed well and formed in the image of Christ, and that's something that I'm rather concerned about. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you again some other time. Bye.